ask from Yaakov to feed him?
Чечевица.
Huh?
Lentil soup.
The red soup.
Red lentil soup. It's interesting, huh? Did you see red lentils?
I never seen it. I told you the truth.
Rashi says, Adashim Adumot.
They usually come in red.
Oto ayom met Abraham. Why did he eat chivitza soup?
Ovel.
And therefore?
Avel. It's
Ovel
Avel.
eats
Для
round,
папы варили.
round stuff.
Oto ayom met Abraham. Why that day Abraham Avinu passed away?
Because he made 3 sins.
Who?
Esav.
Esav. Now what Rashi says, because Esav that day,
Killed him.
that was the bar mitzvah of Esav. You know that? Yes. Bar mitzvah, Yaakov y Esav. That day, Yaakov comes to Sefer Torah, Tefillin, Shejila, как надо. Candies, pendies. Isaac, Esav. Ish Sadeh. In the field. Killing people, raping ladies, doing Avodah Zarah. He is in the Bet Knesset, Yaakov. His brother, twin brother, is in the church.
Wow.
And his bar mitzvah. Who did not make it to his grandson bar mitzvah? Let's ask a question. Ask your children a riddle.
Avraham Avinu.
Who did not make it to his grandson's bar mitzvah? No, from the Tanakh. Written in Tanakh. That he did not make it to his grandson's bar mitzvah. Kto byl? Avraham Avinu. Abraham did not see the bar mitzvah of Yaakov. That day, Yaakov bar mitzvah is Esav bar mitzvah. That day, Esav became, he says, the biggest Rasha in the world. And in order for Abraham not to see it, Hashem said, come earlier. 5 years early, he went earlier. He passes away at the age of 175 instead of the age of 180. Says Rashi, why? שלא יראה את עשיו בן בנו יוצא לתרבות רעה.
Если Ривка сразу забеременела.
Ну,
На 20 лет бы раньше.
Who knows, yeah?
Yeah, but why
Who
5?
knows?
He could have got.
So comes out it was good, huh?
He could have passed away.
The fact that they waited 20 years. They said Abraham got
Why not at 100?
like Bechor said, if you remember, there was one guy owed money to somebody else. Remember the story of Bechor? The guy owes him money. I said that you don't pay me, it's not nice. So he said, who knows, maybe I don't pay you, keeps you alive. So I can pay you. Yeah, skaski paski tvai. Remember you told us a story. He said, okay, give me more time, I'll pay you. Passes time, he collects the money, he pays him, that says, after that he passed away. Так он говорит, история была. Sometimes a person purposely Hashem postponing his payment, his whatever, in order for him to stay alive. I take your money, I don't take your life.
Лех Леха, Парашат Лех Леха, сколько получается? 100, когда он вышел? 75, 175 лет он прожил.
Yeah, we said that, 100 years. Hashem sent him for a mission of 100 years from that point on.
Did he have to come back as a Gilgal to live the other 5 years? Or
Oh, listen. Says Rashi, how do we know that Abraham did not see the bad days of Esav? How do you know that? Where it's written in Torah this? Listen what Rashi says. ואם יראה אברהם את הדבר ויצטער עליו, if Abraham would see his grandson, Esav, not following the path of Torah, הרי אין זו שיבה טובה. It's not, doesn't count that he died in a good way. And the Torah says Abraham died in a good way. Bechor, what does it mean you pass away in a good way? Not when you live $1 million, $10 million house, $10 million house, businesses to people, to your grandkids. Oh, charosh chelvek bulushol. No! Torah says the real good death is whenever you go out of this world and your kids and your grandkids follow the path of Hashem. What that says Rashi, seva tova. Good elderly age. How do you say it?
Pir Shudam.
No. In English they have it. Senior age.
Senior citizen.
Senior citizen.
Senior 65, half a job.
67.
They're gonna change it. Who knows? ב' לפיכך קיצר הקדוש ברוך הוא 5 שנים משנותיו של אברהם. 5 years השם deduct. שהרי יצחק חי 180 שנה. יצחק lived 180 years. And Abraham only 175 years. Bishel, it says, that's why Yaakov at that day was, Yaakov Asa Adashim was doing the red lentils. For who did he do the red lentils?
For
His father, very good. Does he, Yaakov, have to eat from the red lentils also?
No.
No?
She's not
Because
part
we
of
have a
seven.
rule,
She's not
very
part
good. We have a rule, only Avelut applies to the children, not to the grandchildren.
What to do with the Adashim?
7 relatives.
He had no
Right.
brother, he had no
Only
sister.
partner.
ולמה עדשים? Your question. Always your question is the next line. I told you, you guys all Nevi'im over here. You know what's coming up. Rashi says, למה עדשים? Why he gave him these lentils? לפי שדומות לגלגל. Because they are circled. שהאבלות, גלגל החוזר בעולם. Part of life, says Rashi, circle of life is also death. לא עלינו לא עליכם. And second thing he says, כמו מה עדשים אין להם פה, עדשים אין להם סדק, כשאר מיני פולים וקטניות. You know, all the, how you say קטניות?
Бабовые.
Huh?
Бабы.
Бабы? Бабы это же это.
Че?
Это не
Бабаёшки.
No, бабы.
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 Не бабаяш, не бабы.
Неправильно ударение поставишь, неправильно будет звучить.
Бабы. Бабы.
Ну, кипнет.
קטניות,
Если бы Ленин
бабы.
был, да,
בבы או בבы? לא
сказал.
הבנתי בסוף.
Он бы бабы сказал, если Ленин был.
How do you say it?
Бабы.
Бабы. Милра. Бабы. Now, behold, listen to this. It says every babi has split in the middle, has a certain dot, has a certain indent. Смотри, kidneys, этот, kidney beans, yeah? Beans такие есть? Фасоль. It goes like this. Other ones has a split in the middle. Всегда вот это есть. He says there's only one kidneyot. It's perfect circle.
Lentils.
What is, doesn't have any splits.
Lentils.
What is that? Lentils. So what does it mean? He has no mouth. Why? ככה אבל אין לו פה, לפי שאסור עליו לדבר.
Разговаривает.
Abel sits down quietly. He has to think about his relative that passed away and not talk about, go back to business. Why he's not allowed to work? Abel 7 days not
So
working.
he doesn't forget.
Yes, too.
He has to always...
Because whenever he's talking, he'll forget. Now we're going to talk about this thing, talk about that thing. Ты забудешь от своего родственника. Not allowed to forget about your father, mother, wherever the person is.
3 days at least, right?
ולפיכך המנהג לעברות את האבל בתחילת מאכלו ביצים. says Rashi, that's why the minhag to give to אבל ביצים. שואל את הביצים בכור?
Яйца.
יייצה.
Не важно.
שהם עגולים ואין להם פה. ככה אבל אין לו פה. כדאמרינן במועד קטן. אבל כל 3 ימים לאבלותו אינו משיב שלום לכל אדם. What does it mean he has no mouth? He says the first 3 days אבל is not allowed to say shalom to somebody. Is not allowed. Other people cannot say to him shalom. He cannot answer shalom. Shalom. Not allowed to.
Можно shake hands?
Shake hands, yes. But not say shalom.
Обниматься тоже можно?
Yeah. Шалом, слово шалом. Рот, разговаривать нельзя ртом. Шалом сказать.
Яйцо нету.
No.
בכל שכן שאינו שואל באחרים. The first 3 days, he's not allowed to say shalom. He's not allowed to answer shalom. You say shalom aleichem. He doesn't answer. First 3 days. After 3 days, says Rashi, מיום שלישי ועד יום שביעי, משיב ואינו שואל. After 3 days, he's allowed to answer, but not allowed to ask. Not ask, say shalom aleichem, not allowed to. Between 3 days to 7 days. So all these restrictions of not saying, what do you have to do with the mouth? We close his mouth. So to the dashim, the lentils, and the eggs are circled, they have no split, not in a way like where a person have a mouth.
No smile.
No opening, exactly. That's the word. Now, Michra Kayom. Okay, the whole story goes, Esav comes back, he wants to eat. He tells him, Yaakov tells to Esav, you want to eat? No problem. Sell me Kayom. Sell me today. Et bechoratecha ali.
Первенство.
Your firstborn, Bechor, sell it to me. Says Yaakov to Esav. Says Rashi, why he said the word Kayom?
Сегодня.
Сегодня. If you sell it tomorrow, what? Say today, say right now. Michira ka'et. Michira achshav.
Потому что сейчас уже если цара ушел, он должен...
So now, sell me now. Он не говорит now, он говорит, продай мне сегодня. Михра кайом.
А сегодня это когда?
Сегодня? Вот как сейчас вы встретились? Сегодня мне продай.
Это не сегодня, с сегодняшним днем, наверное.
That's the question. Rashi said, why he says the word
If-
kayom?
if-
The
if
Torah
he
could have
saw-
said, Vayomer Yaakov,
Yeah,
Michra et bechoratecha li, sell me your bechorah.
Because the bar
The
mitzvah.
Torah says extra word. Michra kayom. Why is that? Say, come look Rashi.
Because of bar mitzvah.
Says Rashi, outside right now, it's day? It's clear? No, с ним разговаривал, он вернулся днем. So look, what's outside right now? It's daylight? Yeah, it's clear daylight? As clear as daylight. I want your bechorah to be mine. I mean, I don't want it to be maybe mine. Maybe, listen, this was a certain detail. We didn't think about it. We didn't decide on this. We didn't talk about it. We didn't agree on this. No. Outside it's sun.
Crystal clear.
Now it's in, how do you say? It's clear like daylight, right? In English, they have a saying like this. That's what Yaakov said to Esav. Esav was a very tricky guy. He was not an honest person. So Yaakov said, I know your tricks. I told you one of the ways. How did Yaakov trick Esav tricked Yaakov? Here, Mashiach. I'll tell you a big chidush.
He said to his father,
Yaakov and Esav, right? Yitzchak was blind. He was blind, Yitzchak, their father. He was old, already blind. Why he became blind? Rashi says Esav got married to a lot of women that used to do idol worshipping. And they used to do a lot of smoking. Такое есть, испандут, как сделают. They did like this, Avodah Zarah всегда. So all the steam got into his eyes and blind him. Yitzchak. So he tells his two children, son, Esav, he said, go get me the food, make me oshpalo, bach, manti, lola, kebab, and I'll give you a bracha. You're a kilo? Esav goes, he doesn't find any food. That day he doesn't find any food. Now, before he goes, Mashiach, before he goes, Esav, he tells his father, say, Abba, listen, we will have a problem. You know, my brother, my twin brother, Yaakov, said, this guy is a tricky guy. He is going to come to you and he's going to mimic my voice.
Yes.
So for you to recognize that I am the one that bring you the food because you're blind, I will mimic his voice. Это кто слушает за двери? Rivka. She tells Yaakov, after Esav left, say, Yaakov, come. Take those two gdaizim, 2 goats from my ketubah. He owes me, it's mine. Take this, make shechita, I'll cook everything, bring it to your father. It says when he brings it to the father, Yaakov is an honest person. He's not a takoy. It's straight. He is making his voice. Yitzchak is blind. He says, I don't understand. The voice is the voice of Yaakov. Come closer. He touches. Says the hands are like Esav. He put the hairy thing. He touches it. He says the hands like Esav. So question to you: if you had to give right now a guy calling you from some client of yours, he's telling you, listen, Mashiach, I'm gonna send my guy to you. His name is so and so. ID number so and so. Give him the piece of jewelry. Yeah? You know this client for many years. I'll sell you the money. You already sell you the money. The money is already by yours. $1 million piece of jewelry. The guy takes out the ID. He said he's going to send you David Abramov. You see over here, Igal Haim. Igal, I don't know, Tom. Borochov. Are you going to give that $1 million to him, jewelry or no? Why? Something is not doesn't add up. Maybe he broke into my phone. Maybe he looked into my contacts. Maybe he knows that this deal goes through right now. Maybe I got a liar, huh? So how did Yitzchak say, listen, I'm not sure what's going on here. Yitzchak, this child voice, like the voice of Yaakov, are the hands of Esav. So why did you bless him? He didn't give him $1 million. Know what he gave him? He said, may your brother will be a slave to you. And to the brother, he gave all the oil in the world. Which is the Esav. All the oils in the world under the domain of Esav. It's not $1 million, it's $3 trillion. So they ask the question, Mashiach, if so, how did Yaakov had a doubt who is in front of him and he still gave him a blessing? You wouldn't give the piece of jewelry to that guy if you're not sure that this is the guy, Rachon? So how did Yaakov risk? Yitzchak risk such a thing. So the answer is because Yitzchak did not risk such a thing. The voice of Yaakov. Why? Because Esav wanted to trick the whole time. Yeah. What did Esav tell to Yitzchak? Papa, moj brat обманщик, он хитрый, он придет, что скажет? Он мой голос будет делать. Чтобы я объяснил, чтобы я не пропустил эти брахот, я буду его голос делать. So, in Russian they say, не копай яму, там сюда попадешь, правильно? That's exactly what happened to Esav. Esav wanted to trick his father. What did he say? Abba, I'm going to mimic Yaakov's voice. But in order for you to make sure, touch my hands. See, because Yaakov was smooth. Esav was hairy. So Yitzchak says, the call Yaakov. The voice is good. That's the first sign. The voice of Yaakov, which is really the voice of Esav, because Esav told him, I'm going to mimic his voice.
Чем Тора нас это нам показывает, что уже там тогда обманывали?
The hands, it says, is the second sign. Come closer. The hands are the hands of Esav. And what did he say? And he gave him the blessing. So comes out, he never had a doubt about the identity. The question was, you have a doubt. Well, how come you're blessing him? What's the answer? There was never a doubt. Why? Who made sure that there will not going to be a doubt about the identity? Sam Esav. That's what the Chacham, what we said? Nikapa yamu? Sam tuda papados. That's a Rabotai. You hear? Chagai John. That's what Esav was, a very tricky guy throughout the whole time. That's what Yaakov tells to Esav. Michra kayom. Sell me today. What do you mean today? Tomorrow? Or right now? Today. What do you mean today? Outside is daylight? Yeah. I want the sale between us to be clear as daylight. That firstborn rights will be mine 100%. And that's what Esav agreed on. And what did he come after? Yaakov tricked me. We agreed like daylight. Comes out, Rabotai, did Yaakov trick Esav? No. Esav tricked the whole time the Yaakov. And Yaakov was always straight. He was going on the path of Hashem. And Hashem gave him mazal, gave him bracha to be successful more than Esav. That's why do not ever think that Yaakov was tricking Esav. Now, Baruch Sigda Esav, Zachatzel Sigda tricking Yaakov. That's Rabotai. We learned the Torah. Torah is Torah Emet. Who is Yaakov? Isha Emet. Titen Emet leYaakov. Chesed leAvraham. That's just Lamed Shtayim. That's I heard after Kaddish because it's already 10:01. That's Rabotai. Every one of us come to learn Torah every single night. You know that you're connected to the Emet. You're connected to the truth that we have in this world. Is the knowledge of Torah. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen.